Hello, parents and students. Welcome to Turito. Yeah, here we welcome you to the webinar on the topic Stay Ahead in Your College Admission Prep, and to give you much deeper insights about how to build a stellar profile, how to get into top Ivy League universities, and also uh, how to prepare your child from the school. To talk about all these things, we have our speaker of the day, Mr. Mallikarjun. He is our senior vice president at Turito. He has his pedigree from NIT and IIM, and he has great experience in education and agri domains. Over to you, Mallikarjun.
Thanks, Ujjwal, for your introduction. Hello, everyone. A warm welcome to the webinar. This is Mallikarjun speaking. Sorry, I'm unable to switch on my video because of some technical issue with my laptop. So yeah, as Ujjwal mentioned, I head Turito strategy and program planning for all our academic programs. And I've been working in the space of education and technology for the last 8 years. And I've been looking at the K-12 space in particular for the last 4 years, where I've been helping students and parents in terms of focusing on their particular needs and addressing the same with respect to their journey towards college and college applications. As part of that, we'll be talking today on how to plan a student's journey towards the college admissions with specific focus on universities in the US in mind. To talk about briefly, the discussion would go primarily around what the colleges and universities typically look for, and then going into why does a student needs to start their preparation as early as probably grade 7, grade 8 to understand where he or she wants to be in terms of university journey, right? And then coming into various aspects and details of the significant advantages a student gains by focusing on certain elements of college admission prep or college prep application process, and how they can probably have a head start ahead of others. So to begin with, briefly talking about Turito, the EdTech organization that we are a part of. So Turito provides tutoring, test prep, and college admission prep services to K-12 students in the US, Australia, UK, Middle East, and India. And we have close to 10,000 plus students, preparing with us in terms of various requirements, be it their regular academics or the test preparation programs or college counseling services. And we have been successfully helping parents and students in terms of, looking at their own aspirations in terms of their academic and extracurricular needs. And coming to the first question, right? What do universities and colleges look for? So if you briefly understand, there are 4 segments of a student's profile that the universities and students look at, primarily starting with their school academics, and then you have their extracurricular academics, which are primarily to deal with their test prep scores, as well as their level of preparation into honors and AP exams, or probably Ivy board equivalent courses. And then you have extracurricular social and extracurricular competitive segments where the students' competence in leadership and the individual personalities of students are looked at. And that's primarily makes it a comprehensive profile of a student that a university would be evaluating for their admissions process. And if you look at the key attributes of students that the colleges and universities look for, so starting with resource utilization to collaborative and team spirit, and then the diversity in which the students are exposed to various aspects of their profile, and then their ability to work out of their comfort zone, because when it comes to college, there are always going to be time constraints as to what all activities that the student can do and what he needs to focus on. And then it also evaluates the creativity and empathy and other factors which are to do with innovation and interest in building out things, right? So that's primarily the major segmentation of various aspects that students profiles are evaluated based on. And now coming to the question of how does a student present the best self when it comes to college applications, right? So that's where the students are required to focus on multiple aspects and not just pure academics, while academics does play a fairly significant role in their college selection. So yeah, coming to why there is a need for starting the college preparation journey early. As I mentioned, maybe as early as grade 6 to 8. Of course, a lot of students typically start their journey in grade 8 and grade 9. But yeah, so depending on various factors, whether the students are into gifted and accelerated programs as such, then there are students who start as early as well, right? So fundamentally, there are key aspects that a student gains advantage if they start the preparation early. It is one to do with the opportunity to explore various options before actually boiling down to one or two options in future where they want to head, right? And then it also helps with the fact that the students are less overwhelmed because they don't need to cram up too many things in a very tight schedule, especially when they're in grade 11 and grade 12, because that's when they are already loaded with a lot of workload from academics point of view, as well as other aspects of their student life, right? Then you also have the advantage of focusing on higher level courses early, so that helps you differentiate your profile, as well as helps you save a lot of time in during the university, and not just time but also financially it helps, because the cost of credits at university is as high as probably $500 a hour, right? Or probably close to $1,500 to $2,000 course credit, right? And that kind of a saving is possible if students start their preparation for things like AP classes early, which helps them gain credits in the university. And then it fundamentally helps with two aspects, which is increasing the chances of success at getting selected at universities, and also increasing the chances of landing better scholarships when they apply for during the university selection process. So typically, if you look at a student's journey, right from say grade 7, grade 8, uh, uh, the students start with focusing on SSAT or ISW or even Olympiad preparation at these grades, and then they go on to focusing on high school, which starts with grade 9, and there they start with maybe PSAT preparation and also evaluating more on their extracurricular, strengthening their extracurricular activities on particular areas of interest. And then they also get into SAT, ACT preparation in grade 10, grade 11, and also go about preparing for multiple AP exams, which obviously, as I mentioned, help a lot, both with application profile strengthening, as well as saving a lot of time and effort during the university journey for the student. And then finally, when they go into grade 12, that's when they focus on shortlisting colleges after the research that they would have done in the past, and then trying to present their best selves to those colleges based on their personal statements, supplementary essays, and letters of recommendations, and so on. So continuing with that, yeah, so one area that typically private school students are significantly at an advantage, if you go by the statistics as well, where 40% of Ivy League and top 50 college admissions typically happen from elite private schools. The advantage comes from the fact that there is a lot of counseling guidance that comes to these students right from the early ages. And if you can look at the fact that the college counselor ratio to students is as low as 1:5, 1:4 in these elite private schools, versus the public school ecosystem, where the college counselors are typically in the range of 1:400 to 1:450, right? And even the best public schools probably have it in the range of 1:200, right? So fundamentally, what is different for these students is the fact that there's a lot of guidance at a personalized level, and that also helps them prioritize things and also evaluate a lot of things ahead of time. And that also helps them focus and channelize their efforts to give their best efforts in the right direction to succeed in whatever chances that they take, right? So that's primarily the difference. But of course, the private schools come with a cost, where the tuition fee is as high as the fee of even the universities, which charge, right? So that's where it's not easy for everyone to probably get into. But yeah, so those who get into definitely have a significantly different support ecosystem compared to the public school ecosystem. And coming to the scholarships or the financial aid that the US government, as well as multiple agencies across the US, both the state government as well as other organizations provide, right? So there is a lot of scholarships that the students are eligible for. But to say two facts, very rarely students do get scholarships beyond $12,000 a year, right? And then there are almost like 36% of scholarships which are not applied by students because they are not aware of, right? So that's the kind of gap in terms of the opportunity versus the achievement by the students, purely because the level of awareness is limited, and also because of the fact that their profile when they are applying for the scholarships is not as good as the scholarship evaluation team would be expecting the students to be, right? uh, and highlighting few different types of scholarships the students would be probably be eligible for. There are scholarships which are based on purely merit. There are scholarships based on merit cum means, which are also to an extent linked to the family's income. And then there are scholarships specifically towards the streams that the students look at, and the scholarships based on the students' extracurricular activities, whether it is athletics or probably music, dance, and other activities that students are part of. And then there are scholarships by private organizations as well. And even to an extent, these days, the school ecosystem also helps with scholarships to the students, which the students to an extent would be aware of, right? So yeah, so that's where the opportunity is to maximize the benefits in terms of how much scholarship that you can gain, and that, but thereby reducing the financial burden of the college or the university to that extent, right? So that's where the opportunity space is there for the students to have a good go at all these opportunities, and then probably get the best out of it. And then coming to primarily the AP exams, right? So as I was mentioning, there is always uh, uh, multiple benefits with AP exams, be it academic, or be it financial, or with respect to the profile, or with respect to time saving in future, right? So highlighting each of those, when it comes to academics, AP exams definitely help you boost your grade because you have higher grade benefit, particularly in the weighted GPA system, right? And then you also help gain credits during the university. That is again an academic benefit from a university point of view. And then coming to financial benefits, as I mentioned, the university credits that you save through AP exams can give you savings in the range of $3,500 to $10,000 when you actually end up going to the universities. And then coming to the profile strength, a lot of universities, especially the top ones, look at students challenging themselves academically, and one way to signal that is through taking AP exams, or alternately, being part of IB ecosystem, where right. So that's something that universities in their application process itself actively encourages students to go through, right? So that helps differentiate which students are actually serious about the particular streams of education the university has to offer, right? And then coming to the time saving, especially when the kids are young, there's a lot of time for them to utilize, which they can utilize through these additional courses that they can take, which helps them save a lot of time, and even to an extent uh, uh, complete their university course curriculum within 3 to 3.5 years instead of regular 4 years. And that helps a lot, both in terms of utilizing the time during the university for internships, or probably other areas of exploration that the student is interested in, or probably completing the course early and probably joining the workforce early, right? So that's a huge benefit that the students gain during university, when they probably complete a lot of AP exam courses and complete them much ahead of time. And yeah, so this is again to highlight how you benefit from taking AP exams, and what kind of financial savings that we are talking about. And as I mentioned, each college credit in university is close to $500, and then for each AP exam that the student succeeds in, the university gives about 5 to 8 credits in the university's credit system, and that's how you gain to benefit about $4,000 for each AP exam that you clear during your high school. And that helps you probably save close to about 6,000 to 12,000 if you probably complete 3 AP exams. While the cost of AP exams, and I'm not even talking about just the cost of application of the exam, but also in case the student needs extra support out of school to prepare for the AP exam with respect to tutoring. I'm considering that cost as well. And after that cost as well, there is a lot of saving to be made with taking AP exams instead of probably looking at completing those courses during the university first year, right? So yeah, so these are the primary broad benefits that students can gain just because they are starting their preparation early from a college admissions point of view. It doesn't mean that they probably worry about the application process or the personal statements and essays way ahead of time. It is just that they start working on certain aspects of their profile, particularly the academic and the extracurricular academic process, as well as refining their interest in extracurricular activities, whether it is to do with leadership activities or whether it is to do with community activities. So that helps them get a better perspective and focus on the right set of universities which they want to focus on. And that also helps them give time to research on those universities and probably get a better evaluation of what factors to consider and what factors to probably give less weightage to, right? So that's the whole idea of staying ahead in your college admissions prep programs. And so yeah, so obviously, why would I be talking about this is the fact that we at Turito offer a lot of college admission prep programs to the students, again, which are specifically customized in nature to address their specific needs, be it academic or be it related to their profile building activities. Which help them again gain two things: succeed in getting admissions into top colleges, as well as succeed in maximizing their chances at scholarships, right? So these are two tangible benefits that the students and parents would be looking at, and that's what we provide through our services, which comprises of both the tutoring, test prep, and the college admission counseling services. And briefly talking about how do we do it? We do it with college admission prep foundation program in the early grades, and then the college admission prep program during the high school grade 9 to 11, and then ending up with the college application counseling services in grade 12, right? So to broadly talk about the college admission prep foundation program actually looks at screening the students' profiles through a psychometric test, and then starting to guide them as to what areas of interest and strength that they have, and how do they build on top of it over a period of time with a clear roadmap of what all tasks they should be working upon during their school year, as well as during their summer and winter breaks, and how to prepare for test preparation programs, right from SSAT, ISW to your SAT, ACT, and AP classes, and even help them focus on being eligible for National Merit Scholarship program through the NMSQT test, which again is a part of PSAT test, but happens through only the school recommendations. And then taking them all the way through the college application services, which takes care of refining the personal statements of the students and the supplementary essays that they submit to the universities, as well as helping them finding the right set of scholarships that they should be applying for based on their profile, and taking them through that journey. So yeah, so that's broadly about what we do and how the students should be looking at starting their preparation early, which doesn't mean that they probably spend a lot of time on this, but probably once in a month or once in 15 days, spending 1 to 2 hours in terms of understanding their profiles and building a clear roadmap is what matters a lot, right? So yeah, that's about the session. Now I'll probably briefly touch upon how do we do the different programs and what is a typical recommendation for different grade students. So typically grade 6 to 8 students, we suggest that they probably go through college counseling sessions once in 2 months, probably, just to start with the initial interaction to understand what their strengths and interests are, and based on that, how do they probably work upon exploring multiple things, whether it is their extracurriculars or whether it is their school academics, and then focusing on their test preparation as well for SSAT and ISW. Uh, and then coming to senior grades, high school, where the student enters in grade 9 to 11, we suggest that they typically spend more time on the counseling, probably once in a month, to have a clear roadmap for each month and start working on their profile refinements and refining their you know areas of strength, right? Whether it is whether the strength is into a research, or whether it is their strength is into sports, or any other activities, or probably even leadership activities, right? So, and then also continue to work on their test preparation programs, where again there will be a continuous guidance from our team to help the student go through the journey. And then finally, as I mentioned, in grade 12, it would be primarily about spending a lot of time on their personal statements and essays, as well as college shortlisting strategies, and then shortlisting the financial aid and scholarship application that they will be working upon. So yeah, that's about it, and I'll probably take you through briefly the background of our team, which has been working on this, and yeah, I'll be open to questions after that. Yeah. So this is a team behind our college admissions programs, and we have Kristen Moon, who heads our college counseling for the US market. And then we have Durga Prasad, who heads our entire academic programming for the test prep services. And then we have Saujanya Phillips, who heads our counseling for study abroad students. And then Yuan Hill, who heads our test prep tutoring services for SAT, ACT, SSAT, and ISW programming. And then we have a strong team of college counselors as well, who have helped students get into the Ivy Leagues as well as the top 50 universities continuously over the last 5 to 10 years. And yeah, so that's about us. Yeah. Open to questions. So you can post your queries in the Q&A section, not the chat section, and I'll be happy to answer them. Thank you for patient listening. Yeah, so someone is asking, will you share the deck? Yes, we will send you over the mail. So yeah. So another question, for 7th graders, what is the preparation that is needed? So for typical, middle school students, right? Fundamentally, the focus is more on two things. One is the uh, academic foundations, which go into their, GPA over a period of time in high school. And then the second is on starting to evaluate the students' persona through a psychometric evaluation, which our college counselors do. And this is that guiding them as to exploring which might be in line with their strengths that can probably help them succeed in building a strong profile. And that's where this exploration would help in terms of trying out multiple things before they slowly streamline to a limited set of options in their grade 9, 10, and 11, right? So where they're going to do more of refinement, while in early grades, they'll do more of exploration. So another question is, what kind of extracurricular activities would you suggest for a rising ninth grader? Uh, so I don't think I can suggest a specific set of extracurriculars. It would be again based on the students' aspirations and plans as well, because ultimately what matters is how are your extracurriculars in sync with what you're looking for in future, right? But in general, again, depending on the students' strengths and capabilities, it can be into sports, music, or even activities like robotics and coding, which are more into STEM, right? So, and then again, the other activities will be more into social elements of the ecosystem, where the students' participation in volunteering activities or probably even leading volunteering activities, which again entail leadership qualities of the students. These are things that are typically suggested for grade, not just grade 9, but yeah, so typically in the grade range of grade 8 to 10. Yeah. Um, how much it costs to take this Turito counseling for 10th grader in US? While we don't do counseling alone as a program, but yeah, so typically to talk about this would be on an annual basis, where there is a certain amount of engagement or certain level of engagement with the counselors. It would be costing anywhere between 1,200 to $1,500 per year. Yeah. So that's for grade 10th students again. Yeah. Another question is, do you help early graders like grade 7th? What is your cost structure for grade 7 to 12? Uh, the cost structure is primarily based on the number of sessions of counseling that is needed. And as I mentioned, in lower grades of 6 to 8, we typically suggest once in 2 months counseling sessions with the college counselors. And for senior grades of grade 9 to 11, that the frequency would increase to anywhere between once a month to probably once in 20 days. Again, that depends on, to an extent, the students need as well, and the kind of engagement that they want with a college counselor as well, right? And then in grade 12, it would be higher, because grade 12 is all about spending a lot of time with the college counselor and your essay coach, who help on multiple aspects, whether it is with respect to your essay preparation or your personal statement preparation, or identifying and applying for the scholarships that you have a significant chance to get selected for, right? So there in grade 12, typically the number of sessions would probably go anywhere between 20 to 35. And that also depends on the number of applications or the college that you are trying to apply for. And the cost actually varies based on that. Yeah. And is it difficult for a student studying in public school to get into top 50 colleges? Definitely no. As I mentioned, uh, the biggest constraint that the students who ignore focusing on top 50 colleges, or probably the Ivy Leagues. I would not even talk about top 50 colleges, but maybe the top 10 or top 20, right? Is the fact that they think that it is difficult, and then of course the shortlisting criteria and the percentage success rate is definitely limited, but it doesn't mean that it is difficult. And then the other aspect is that the kind of fees that these universities charge, that also gives a negative thought process to a lot of students, saying that probably I should look for colleges and universities which are more affordable. But to an extent, all the top universities provide a lot of financial aid for students. And in fact, if you look at the average landing cost of students in these top universities, that is probably equivalent to or less than most of the other colleges and even most of the public in-state colleges, right? So typically the effective landing cost ranges between 15,000 a year to 18,000 a year, right? While the actual quoted fees would be in the range of 60,000 a year or more. As I mentioned, a lot of these top universities have a lot of support in terms of endowments and funds, and that actually helps a lot in terms of getting a lot of scholarships, which other universities don't usually get. And yeah, so that's one thing. And on the chances of getting selected, I think it's purely a matter of focusing on the right aspects, like starting early, and also building your profile very strongly. And it doesn't matter whether you're from a public school or a private school. And getting the right set of guidance at each stage of your school journey, right from middle school to your high school, is what matters to succeed in getting admissions into top 50 colleges. Okay, for a child studying in India, what advice would you give in terms of extracurriculars, APs, etc.? Do they even stand a chance for admission to top universities? Definitely yes, because we have our own set of students who have joined the MITs and Harvards in the US from our current set of students. And even this cohort which we have from the India study abroad vertical, they have significant SAT scores in the range of 1550 plus, and they are aspiring to get into MIT, Stanford, Harvard, and the best universities in the US. So I don't think that is a challenge at all. And with respect to their preparation into extracurriculars, APs, etc., I think it would matter similar to what the US students would be doing, because at the end of it, for each admission into these universities, whether the student is in India, US, or elsewhere, they're competing with the same, right? And the expectations from the university would be more or less same, although the specific evaluation would be, based on the student's context as well. But yeah, so more or less, the kind of activities that students are evaluated based on doesn't change whether the student is in India or in the US. Do you run SAT classes prep? Yes, we do. We have been doing it successfully for the last 2 years, and as I mentioned, we have a good set of faculty, and our programs have succeeded in providing the best scores for the students. And we have good number of students who have scored 1500 plus, and easily in the last cohort itself we have about 6 students who have scored 1550 plus. Yeah. Is chess considered a sport? Yes, of course, because again, while it is more of an indoor sport, maybe it involves a lot of mental effort and thought process in terms of strategizing and stuff, which again is a lot needed when it comes to any kind of profile, whether it is into pursuing business studies, or probably pursuing science related academics, because that actually shows or demonstrates a lot of capability from the student's point of view in terms of ability to think through things, right? or ability to think through 3 or 4 steps ahead of time. And that's something of a quality that a lot of universities look at when shortlisting students. So what extracurriculars are more preferred, music or athletics? I think again that's subjective and also depends on what kind of stream that the student wants to look at for their college admissions. There is no specific thing that is preferred by universities, because typically universities admission process looks into giving opportunity for a diverse set of students, which means if there are 60 students in a class or a batch, they look at individual strengths of these 60 students and try to give weightage to the students who excel into any of these specifics and be the best in that, right? So the diversity of the class is what the universities look for, and hence whether a student is into music or into athletics, all they look at is how good they are in that, right? I think that matters a lot more than whether they are into this or that. Of course, yeah, having multiple aspects do help maybe, but yeah, so specifically the admissions board is typically looking at uh, how diverse or how strong the student is into a particular activity that he has been pursuing, because that shows the student's ability to actually work upon the college academics as well with the same kind of rigor with which he or she would have pursued their areas of interest, and that's what matters a lot when it comes to the application selection. Yeah. In terms of foreign language requirement, will the original languages from India be accepted, especially by the top universities? I probably I don't have an answer for this right now, but I can check with the team and probably respond to you or a mail. If you can send an email to me on my email, I'll be sharing that. So we have a separate study abroad team that helps students with. I can probably connect you with them. Yeah. Okay. If there are no further questions, probably we can stop it here. Before leaving, as I mentioned, we'll be sharing the presentation with you over a mail, and you can also write to me any queries that you might have, or if you're interested to discuss further on regarding the programs that we offer at my email ID. I'll be sharing it over in the chat, or probably I'll be sending it as part of the mail to you with along with the presentation. Yeah. So this is my email ID, which I've pinged you over the chat. You can write to me any queries that you might have. Yeah. Yeah, please send email presentation. Yeah, definitely we'll be sharing it in a day's time. Yeah, thanks. Thanks for joining us, everyone. It was good interacting with you and addressing your questions. Can a kid select Telugu as a foreign language? Yeah, as I mentioned, ma'am, I'll be probably connecting you with my team who can probably answer this question better. So yeah, thanks.